In the haze of a San Diego dawn, where the Pacific salt air clung to everything, the naval amphibious base hummed with the raw energy of youth. Young men, barely past their teens, pushed through the grueling SEAL training. Grunts, sweat, and barked orders filled the air. Amid this chaos, a man moved unnoticed, his mop gliding across the concrete corridors of the gym. Samuel Carter, or Sam to the few who bothered, was the janitor. Hooded in a faded gray sweatshirt, he was a ghost in plain sight, his presence as unremarkable as the dust he swept. But beneath that hoodie, a faded tattoo on his neck, a coiled serpent around a dagger, hinted at a story no one dared to ask. It was the kind of mark that didn't come from a beachside parlor, and it was about to unravel a truth that would shake the base to its core. Sam was a fixture at the base, older than most instructors, his face lined like weathered oak. He dragged his trash bin through the courtyard, head down, sleeves rolled to his elbows even in the summer swelter. Recruits called him Quiet Sam, or Hoodie Joe, some whispering he was on parole, others joking he'd been born with a broom. The staff didn't correct them. The truth was, nobody knew much. Sam had been there longer than the senior chiefs. His file was a blank page in the admin office. But if you looked too long, you'd notice something: a deliberate step, a flicker of steel in his eyes, and that tattoo, half hidden but impossible to ignore. It wasn't a heart or a skull. It was a symbol, heavy with meaning, though no one dared ask what. The recruits were too busy surviving to care. Hell Week loomed, a crucible of sleep deprivation and bone-chilling surf. Among them was Jacob Riley, a kid from Fresno, wiry and determined, his mom's tears still fresh on his mind from the day he left for training. Jacob didn't notice Sam at first, not until a brutal morning of push-ups under Sergeant Holt's relentless barking. As Sam emptied a trash can nearby, his hoodie slipped, revealing the tattoo's edgy as serpent's coil, faded but unmistakable. Jacob froze mid-rep, his breath catching. He'd seen that mark before, in a grainy Polaroid his uncle, a retired naval intel officer, had shown him years ago. Those guys didn't exist, his uncle had slurred, whiskey loosening his tongue. Wiped clean after Panama. Ghosts. That night, in the dim barracks, Jacob whispered to his bunkmate, Ethan Cole, "Have you ever seen the janitor's neck? That tattoo, it's not random." Ethan snorted, half asleep. "You're cracked, Riley. He's just some old dude with a mop." But Jacob couldn't shake it. The next day, he watched Sam closer. His walk wasn't the shuffle of a broken man, but the measured stride of someone who'd scanned rooms for threats. During lunch, Jacob nudged another recruit, Lucas Hayes. "You think Sam's ex-military? Maybe Spec Ops." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "If he's CIA, he's leaning into the bucket routine." Jacob laughed, but the seed was planted, and curiosity was a dangerous thing. He tried asking around, starting small. To Sergeant Vance, he casually mentioned Sam's tenure. "Longer than me." Vance grunted, then leaned in. "Focus on your drills, kid. Tattoos don't mean jack." But the dismissal felt forced. Jacob's questions grew bolder, and his mistake came in the mess hall, loud enough for others to hear. "Sergeant Holt, do you know anything about Sam? His tattoo looks like Special Forces." The room hushed. Holt's fork paused. "You watch too many movies, Riley. Sam's just a guy who cleans up your mess. Worry about your knees, not his ink." A few recruits chuckled, but the air tightened. Jacob had crossed a line, and he felt it. The questions gnawed at him. By week 2, he was obsessed, tracking Sam's movements like a detective. During a gear check, he saw Sam restock shells with a precision that felt trained, not practiced. Unable to stop, Jacob cornered Lieutenant Grant, a logistics officer with graying temples. "Sir, has Sam always been here?" Grant's mouth twitched. "You're digging into the help now? He's been here a decade, maybe more. Let it go, Riley." But Grant's tone wasn't dismissive, it was sharp, like a warning. Jacob's gut screamed. Sam was hiding something, and others knew it. Desperate, Jacob took a risk. On a rare Liberty Day, he busted Chula Vista to a dive bar called Rusty's Tap, where his uncle used to drink with old Navy vets. The place reeked of stale beer, its booths filled with grizzled men who looked like they'd seen too much. Jacob ordered a soda and asked the bartender about off-the-books teams from the early 90s. A man at a corner table, face scarred like a road map, overheard. "You're looking for ghosts, kid?" Jacob swallowed. "Samuel Carter, janitor at the SEAL base. He's got a tattoo of serpent and dagger." The room stilled. The scarred man leaned back. "Sam. Damn. Haven't heard that name in years." What followed was a revelation. Sam had been part of Unit 7, a shadow team sent to Panama in '89 for a mission that never made the news. They'd extracted hostages, but it went south. Half the team didn't come back. The survivors were erased, their records burned to avoid political fallout. Sam went off-grid. The man said, "No family, no trace. If he's sweeping floors, it's because he can't leave his life, even if it spat him out." He fixed Jacob with a hard stare. "You found something real, kid. Be careful what you pull at." Back on base, Jacob couldn't unhear it. Sam wasn't just a janitor, was a man who'd carried the weight of a nation's secrets and been discarded for it. The truth spread like wildfire. Recruits stopped joking about Sam. One morning, a loudmouth named Caleb Ward mocked him in the mess hall. "Yo, Sam, you missed a spot." Jacob stood, voice low. "Shut it, Ward. You don't know who he is." The room froze. Sam met Jacob's eyes, unreadable, then walked away. Whispers grew. Recruits like Diego Lopez cornered Jacob. "What did you mean, who he is?" Jacob hesitated. "Just respect the guy. He's been through more than us." The instructors noticed. Lieutenant Baxter pulled Jacob aside during a drill. "You're stirring up stories, Riley. This isn't a book club. Keep your mouth shut, or you're out." Jacob nodded, but the damage was done. The air crackled with tension. Then came Commander Victor Shaw, a bulldog of a man who'd run Black Ops before climbing the ranks. His unannounced visit sent the base into lockdown. At a mandatory assembly, Shaw's voice boomed. "I hear fairy tales about janitors and secret missions. This is a training ground, not a conspiracy hub. If you've got stories, my office is open. I'll write your discharge papers myself." Sam stood at the quad's edge, broom in hand. As Shaw stepped down, Sam moved forward, no fanfare, just a man who'd had enough. His voice carried, steady and clear. "I never wanted a spotlight. Never needed a medal. But don't stand here training to be warriors and act like you know sacrifice when you can't see the men who bled for it." He faced Shaw, unflinching. "Some of us did things this country wasn't ready to own. We were told to vanish. I stayed because I wanted to see if any of you would notice." He looked at Jacob, then walked off, broom still swinging. Shaw said nothing, his face a mask, but the silence was deafening. Graduation came, a sunlit ceremony with polished boots and proud families. Jacob scanned the crowd, but Sam was gone. After the photos, he slipped to the utility corridor where Sam's cart sat, tidy as ever. The door creaked, and Sam appeared, hoodie off, his frame still solid for a man pushing 60. "You didn't watch," Jacob said. Sam shrugged. "You didn't need me to." Jacob pulled out a folded paper. "I wrote it down, your story, no names, just the truth. So others know." Sam didn't take it. "Write it like a lesson, not a statute. The system doesn't care, but the next kid in your boots might." They stood in silence, then Sam pointed to a mess on the wall. "Some recruit got sick here. Grab a rag." Jacob, still in his dress blues, cleaned beside him, the act grounding them both. "Why stay?" Jacob asked. Sam paused. "My fight never stopped. I just picked a quieter battlefield." As the sun dipped, Sam wiped his hands. "You'll be a good one, Riley. Not because you're tough, but because you saw." He walked away, disappearing into the base's shadows, a man who'd chosen silence but left a mark. Jacob kept the paper, later turning it into a letter he shared with recruits, a quiet testament to men like Sam. The base moved on, but Sam's story didn't fade. It lived in the respect shown to those who carried burdens no one else could see. What do you think about Sam's story? Should men like him be forgotten, or do they deserve recognition, even if it stirs up trouble? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on the violence and injustice that shape lives like his. Take a stand, let's hear your voice.